in Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1.
Everybody say Roma!
I'm predicting over $1 billion at the box office with this film, and in the first week of release, it looks promising with Paramount already conjuring up $235 million on the first weekend. Well, actually first 5 days of release, almost making back their $291 million budget. Saying that though, I'm not a massive fan of these Mission Impossible films, but I do appreciate how far they've come and haven't missed a cinema release so far. I enjoy them more so than those abysmal Transformers films, especially the Michael Bay directed ones, and with every release of trailers for Mission Impossible, my thoughts were exactly the same. This could be the best film of the year. I'm a sucker for a good trailer, and this was no exception. I thought we'd just hit the jackpot. Like, that bike dive over the cliff was enough to tickle my pickle. However, when it comes to the finished product, I'm always left slightly underwhelmed. The last film, Fallout, for example, I should have loved it, but I found the film frustrating and didn't understand why Superman was a spy. Probably the same reason why I avoided The Man from U.N.C.L.E. I think he's better suited in The Witcher, in all honesty.
Fuck.
The general audience seemed to love this film though, so at the end of the day, I mean, what do I know? But that leads us on to Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1. Thankfully, they've given a disclaimer that this is the first part, unlike Fast X, where I didn't expect a cliffhanger. Same as Spider-Man Across the Universe. Now that film, I really didn't want it to end. When it came up saying to be continued, I was like, hold on 1 second. Like, I've only been sitting here for about an hour, like, what's going on? Nope, 2 hours 20 went past. What a film. Anyway, this film lasts slightly longer, 2 hours 40, and come the end of the movie, I was just relieved I could finally leave the flicks, and I rolled out as soon as those credits started. One thing I tend to forget with these films is that the Mission Impossible franchise fits into the spy genre, and it's a genre I want to like, but always come out thinking they were pretty average movies. Apart from Johnny English, I mean, come on.
Click it twice. Ah, English. Very well.
Have you seen my secretary?
But jokes aside, I don't know what it is about spy films, they just don't appeal to me. The Jason Bourne saga, I wasn't really into. Kingsman, yeah, the first film was good, the other one was, or the other two, jeez. Austin Powers was actually, that could be my favourite, you know. Austin Powers is definitely up there.
Yeah, baby! Yeah.
So when it comes to the plot, they've gone slightly different with the artificial intelligence system that is infiltrating like the Russians at the beginning. There's like a submarine scene. It's actually quite good, definitely high tension. But this AI system decides that it wants to get one of Tom Cruise's old rivals to be the forefront of this new wave of life. But yeah, Tom Cruise has to beat one of his old adversaries. Yeah, just, you know, highly original stuff. So it's established quite early on in the film that we're looking for two keys. A bit like that new Transformers film. Yeah, they lose two keys and they got to search for them, and that's kind of what happens in this film. But what sets the two films apart is the action. I mean, the dialogue is practically the same. Actually, there were a few scenes that were pretty good. Tom Cruise and the guy from the original.
So 25 years ago, almost to the day, I get a call from my rep saying they want to bring Kittredge back, and I think it's a joke, of course. It's not. They want to bring him back. So what a thrill it is to dig around, find a character when you're in your 30s, and then get to go back and redevelop the character after so much apparent life experience and funnel that into the franchise.
Wowzers. But yeah, their scene together was really good. In fact, it's got a good, you know, the mask reveals where they hide underneath a certain face. They do that really well in this film. Love those. But you know what? This key does introduce us to the best aspect of the movie, hands down. And that's Hayley Atwell.
I'm in a Tom Cruise movie. And he, without pausing, went, no. I'm in a Hayley Atwell movie.
Who basically steals every scene she's in. Such a good signing. I mean, it's taken her 17 years to get to where she wants to be now. And like, I don't know, I think she deserved it sooner. Especially after being in the first Avengers film. But it was that Black Mirror episode that she was really good in. Although I'm not a massive fan of the episode, if I'm going to be perfectly honest. Right, second best aspect of the movie are the action scenes that have some serious tension and gravitas. One thing I can compliment Mission Impossible films with are the outrageous high-tension parts when you still don't know if Tom Cruise is going to survive or not. And they do this in all the films. I don't understand how he does it, how he consistently does this on a regular basis. It's just impressive. Like the train scene towards the end of the film is a perfect example of this.
We were able to do something that you couldn't do on green screen. You know, there's just no way you could capture what we were capturing up there on that train. They don't make movies like this anymore. They just don't do it.
My God, just everything about it. Compliments to the chef, seriously. And it's all kind of like practical effects and stunts that are just jaw-dropping. Tom Cruise really cares about his produced films. He wants people to be constantly impressed with some of the stunt work that goes on in this film.
The Mission films are big movies, and you know, the scope of them, the way McHugh shoots them, the way they're lit, the way they're staged, it begs to be seen on as big a screen as possible.
I mean, if you look at Top Gun Maverick and the exceptional work that was put in with all of that flight stuff, the amount of effort and lengths they go to make us, the audience, really like just sit on the edge of our seats in awe. And this movie is no exception with some of like the speed surfing, the mad car stunts in Rome.
We have this yellow car behind us, which we nicknamed Trixie because she had a mind of her own. And so to spend 5 months learning how to drift with Trixie whilst both Tom and I were handcuffed to each other meant that by the time we got out to Rome, we had a good chance that we weren't going to harm the city, the streets, the fountains, the stairs, other people.
Thanks, Hayley. Like, I'm telling you, this film needs to be seen in the IMAX just for stunts alone. Although, I think it's only in for a week because Barbie and Oppenheimer, just a week after Mission Impossible's release, some kind of politics going on. But even though I wasn't hugely enamored with Dead Reckoning Part 1, I will definitely go see the next films for the stunts and Hayley Atwell, obviously. In terms of the other actors, the bad guy reminded me of that guy from 24. Watching Ving Rhames, I mean, I just wanted to put on Con Air, no word of a lie. But yeah, no one really stood out. Yeah, sorry guys. Even though I've been fairly complimentary of this film, overall, as a whole package, I'd probably prefer to watch Fast X over this. Just for mindless fun. And sometimes the dialogue in Mission Impossible can be quite tiresome and you just kind of want to drift off. But seriously, the action scenes, you just gotta watch this for the train scene at the end alone. I mean, oi oi oi. Although I did like the end scene for Fast X, so snakes and roundabouts, whatever they say.
I love my popcorn. Movies, popcorn.